I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be have an attitude of gratitude. In other words, how to have a good attitude when shit's not going your way in life, or you're dealing with a lot of challenges. So I've got some quotes that I want to go over, because this is something that I'm seeing a lot of. Obviously, what I do as a life coach, I see that a lot. And when you are in the process of achieving a goal, it's like many of your major goals, career goals, business goals, major life goals, graduating college, those kinds of things, starting a business and making it profitable. Sometimes those things take years and years. And a good way to look at things is to measure your success in terms of decades instead of years. Now, here's why. Is because we, human beings, we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in a year, but we tend to underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. And too many times when people set goals or expectations for themselves, they set things that are really unreasonable time frames. And then when they don't achieve those time frames, they get discouraged, they give up, they say, well, you know, I tried, fuck it, it's not in the cards for me, I give up. And they never step outside their comfort zone the rest of their life. Now, something that's very hard to do is, I mean, it's easy to be grateful and happy when everything's going well in your life, when your girl adores you, when your business is making tons of money, when you've got great friends and you're traveling all over the world and you're having a great time hanging out with great people and great places, and everything's banging on all cylinders. But what about if you're just starting out? What if you just made a major life change with your career? Or what if you just broke up with your girlfriend or your marriage ended? Because there's always a period of time when something ends, and deep down you know it's for the best, but you still have got to find a way to continue on forward without giving up or letting the circumstances that you're in or the negativity of those circumstances bring you down. And it's very helpful. Like even me, I sometimes have days where you get up on the wrong side of the bed, or just things don't go well. I got to give you an example. A couple hours ago, I was going to go work out at my gym. Now the gym that I've been working out at for the past 4 years, it's been in the same place. Now they've moved locations because their lease is getting renewed. And the company just totally fucking bumbled their moving out of one space and into the next one. So I've been out of town a lot the past month, and this process has been going on for like 2 months. There was a period of like 3 weeks that the gym wasn't even open. And so I was going to other gyms in the area for a week at a time, just buying like a week-long membership, expecting my gym to reopen. And so I go in there today. I haven't been back in town. They finally got their doors open. I walk in there, it's like half the equipment in there doesn't have any pads in it. I'm just like, how can it even work out? He's got no padding in here. I'm just thinking, I was really obviously not happy about that, because I was really looking forward to doing my workout and then going for a run afterwards. And so I'm thinking to myself, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to cancel my fucking membership, because these guys are like Mr. Magoo. They can't get their shit together. And so instead of doing anything with it, I was just like, I'll see you guys later. And I left. I thought, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go for a run. I'm not going to let this ruin the rest of my afternoon and get in the way of things that I've got to do. And so what you focus on in life, it expands. Where intention goes, energy flows. You tend to get what you focus on in life. And I know lately I was thinking about this, because I got a friend of mine. He was a former retired Green Beret, and this guy had almost $500 million worth of real estate 6-7 years ago. And obviously with all the things that happened in the market, that portfolio of properties that he spent the last 20-25 years building is basically shrunk down to nothing. And his wife's left him, and he's pretty much broke, and he's starting all over. He moved to basically back to where he used to live, to completely start all over. He even got his old job back, working for a guy that was his partner for many years, and they made a lot of money together successfully. And so he's like starting out completely at ground zero, and he's just had nothing but struggle these past 6-7 years. And so when you're in a situation like that, or like I had another friend of mine, great girl, I've known her for like 20 years. She finally divorced this guy that she shouldn't have even married 15, 18 years ago, But she stayed in. They got 2 beautiful kids. But I just remember the ordeal that she was going through and trying to divorce this guy that she was married to. And any of you that have ever been through a divorce or know people that have been through it, it's a financial pain in the ass, and it's also an emotional pain in the ass. And I remember talking to her about 2 years ago when it was around Christmas time, and she had made up her mind she was definitely going to leave the guy that she was married to, and she was 100% certain that she was going to get a divorce. And obviously she's not looking forward to it, and she was seeking my advice, but obviously because of what I do for a living, and plus I've been through a divorce personally, so I told her what to expect. And I remember she was just going through a tough time, and I saw a Facebook post from her the other day, and she's just so happy now. She's got a new guy in her life, she's in love, she's in great shape, her daughters are teenage years, and so it's like so cool because now I'm getting to see, like, it's like the old her coming back. The old friend that we used to go out and party a lot when we were in our 20s together. And it's nice to see that she's back living her life and really happy, and she's at a place where she feels a lot of peace. Well, I mean, this has basically been about a two and a half year journey now at this point to get from where she was to her divorce is finally behind her, all that stuff, all the legal proceedings are all out of the way. She's completely disentangled herself with the home that they own together. And so now she's on her own, and she feels like she's got her life back, and she's got her freedom back, and she's just absolutely elated, and I feel good for her. But it's obviously easy to feel like that because all this stuff is behind her. And so the key is to be able to find a way to be grateful even when you're going, you know what, it's 5 more years till I graduate with my medical degree. It may take me 3 or 4 more years before my business becomes profitable. Or it may take me a year to figure out what my purpose is in life. Or it may take me a year to recover from going through a divorce and even get back to a place where where I'm actually looking forward to dating and meeting new people again. And so the key is to learn to manage your state and what you focus on. And recently when I was in Orlando, I was at my chiropractor friend's office, and there's this breathing exercise that they do to help facilitate the adjustments that the doctor does. And part of this breathing technique involved gratitude. And I was just like, I went in, I was just like not in the mood. I was like, this is bullshit. This is BS. I'm just, okay, I'll do it. I just wasn't in the mood. And the funny thing was, like 10 minutes later, I walked out of there. I was feeling so blissed out, and I was feeling so grateful, and I was feeling so happy. And it just kind of struck me. It's like, I do this stuff for a living. And it's like, I totally realized that I had a shitty attitude. When I walked in, I got my adjustment, like 10, 15 minutes later, it finally hit me that all those little things that I was thinking about, it put me in a good state of mind. I'm thinking, I know this stuff, I teach this stuff. And yet here I am myself getting caught up and having a shitty fucking attitude. But just a simple thing of focusing and asking because you've probably heard me say before, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you consistently ask yourself. And so what do we typically focus on when things suck? We focus on why things suck, right? Why does this always happen to me? Why didn't this person do that? Why didn't that girl return my phone call? Why didn't that customer buy my product? Why didn't that investor invest in my business? Why did that person dump me? I mean, that's what we tend to focus on when things are going really crappy. And so obviously what you focus on tends to expand. But it's like once you accept the reality of your circumstances and that things are the way they are, something that can really be helpful. And I've learned this lesson. I continue to learn it. And that's the beauty of the stuff that I teach, is that as you get older and you continue to get better at implementing these things, and you also get a deeper perspective and you gain a lot more wisdom and insight. And so something you may have learned from me today, 5 years from now, you might get it just one day, wake up and just go, oh, something will happen. And you'll get it on a completely different level, 100 times deeper than you've ever gotten it before. Just like this, the gratitude example when I was at my doctor's office. I'm like, I know this stuff. And yet here I was getting caught up in a pattern, being pissed off or irritable, just for whatever reason. I was just feeling like a shitty mood. But it really helps to ask yourself a powerful question like, okay, my life sucks right now, but what do I have, or what could I be grateful for? Well, I got my health, I've got friends, I've got family, I've got resources. And one thing that Tony said years ago, Tony Robbins, he said, your greatest resource is your resourcefulness. And so a lot of times we tend to psych ourselves out with oh, I don't have the education, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the connections, oh, I could never do that. Like I got an email from a guy, I was reading through some of the emails that I got yesterday, and this particular guy, I know he's been following my work for a while because I've answered emails from in the past going back probably at least a year. And so here he is telling me, like, how can I improve my social skills? How can I get better talking to women if all my friends suck and if all my friends are terrible with women, and when I go out with women, or when I go out and I want to meet women, all they end up doing is cock blocking me. I'm thinking, this guy's been following me for a year. And so this is his story. His story is, this is what he tells himself, and what keeps him from practicing, right? So he knows he needs to practice, and he knows he needs to get better, and so what he's doing is he's psyching himself out. Oh, I got to go out with my friends. So he goes out with his friends, and his friends don't know this stuff. They're not really interested in learning it. And so they go out, and he has a bad experience, and he's basically able to look at his friends and go, oh, it's all their fault. So here it is. The real reason is this guy has not been getting his ass out of his comfort zone and talking to people and talking to strangers, and so he's just basically looking around his life and saying, oh, it's my friend's fault. Well, gee, Corey, what do you do? It's like, I don't have any good friends that'll go out and are a great wingman. It was like, well, go out by yourself. I mean, I've done videos on this, improving your social skills, where I talk about these things, and it's just interesting how people focus on certain things and they go, ah, that's it. That's my story. That's the reason. And so I've got a few quotes that I want to go through, I want to leave you with, that I think are good. And this one's by Mark Twain, and it's so true. He says, anger is an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than onto anything in which it is poured. I mean, think about this. You ever been driving in your car, and then somebody cuts you off, and it's like the whole rest of the way on your way to work, that motherfucker, you're just fucking going off. And more than likely, that person that cut you off, they have absolutely no idea that your fucking day is just totally out of control. And so think about that for a second. The dude that cut you off, they're probably some old person, completely oblivious. And like down here in Delray, there's obviously a lot of retired people, and some of them, they're just like, you could tell they're just completely fucking out of it, and you got to watch out for them on the road. And it's like, so they're completely oblivious, and so for me to be, like, I get cut off, and for me to be pissed off for the next 20 minutes, it's like that person has absolutely no idea. They're probably having a great day, and here I am, filling my body full of acid and toxins because I'm all angry and pissed off that they cut me off, and they probably don't even know it. And they're having a great time, they're having a great life, and I here myself, I'm making myself miserable because of what I'm focusing on. It's something to think about. And so this is one you've probably heard me mention before. It's by Carlos Castaneda, and it's really true. He says, we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves happy. The amount of work is the same. And this one's by Les Brown. He says, anytime you suffer a setback or a disappointment, put your head down and plow ahead. Something that may be helpful for you when you're in that situation, you're feeling pissed off, is to think about all the reasons that you had to be grateful for, or all the things that have gone well for you in the past, and by asking yourself a better quality question, you completely change your attitude, and you won't, all of a sudden, a minute or two later, you'll realize you're focused on something positive and you got a good attitude. And this last one I'm going to leave you with is by Tommy Lasorda. Great baseball coach. He says, the difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a man's determination. It's something to think about. So if you're having a challenge, or you're really struggling, maybe you're struggling with just trying to find a reason to be happy about your life, or just things just aren't going well, or you feel just overwhelmed, or you feel like the things that you want to accomplish is just, the mountain is just too big to overcome, go to my website right now, click the products tab, and follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session. And I will talk to you soon.